Well, Light, it's all over.
Hello guys, welcome back to my reaction channel. Today we're going to be reacting to Death Note episode 6. The last episode was again amazing. A lot of details, a lot of unraveling, which is the title of this particular episode. So I'm guessing we're gonna get some more of that. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna get too much into it because we just saw it. This episode is gonna air literally a few hours after the last one. So you're fresh. You just saw the reaction to episode 5. Now we're gonna be jumping into episode 6. But before we do, if you enjoy my reactions, feel free to share, subscribe, like, leave a comment, ring that bell for notifications, guys. Follow me on Instagram, join my Discord server, and let's jump right into this reaction. Let's go. They are gonna meet L, and he's barefooted. Well, I'm guessing he's in his bedroom.
I am L.
That is the most ridiculous introduction ever. He's just bored out of his mind. He's like, I'm L. What? And I love he's so young, man. I would say he's a detective, and they said he's been doing this for years, so I'm assuming he's like 30. I don't know, but he looks like, I would give him Light's age. Like, he's young, man. He looks young, and he looks like he's not trying at all. Like, the appearance, he's just hi, ML. Like,
This is him. He's nothing like I thought he'd be.
he's weird. He has some weird pics.
Of the NPA. Matsuda. I'm Aizawa. Mugi. Yukita.
Mugi.
I'm very
Yukita.
sorry we're late. Currently, the 5 of us are... Bang! What the hell was that? If I were Kira, you'd be dead, Mr. Soichiro Yagami, chief of the NPA.
Because they showed it. Oh, okay. Because they showed him the credentials, names, everything. He's trying to teach them, like, why would you volunteer that information? Yeah, we trust each other. I showed you my face, but you don't know my name. Why did you just, like, you need to train yourself not to mention your name to anybody ever. This guy Al is low-key weird, not gonna lie. Look at him. It's just like the arms and his posture is ridiculous, but he's smart.
Kira needs a face and a name in order to commit murder. But I'm sure you've already figured that much out, haven't you? Please do not give out your name so carelessly. Instead, let's value our lives.
I knew that he needed a face to kill someone, but I don't remember any evidence that showed that he needed a name, too.
There's no way to verify if this is related. Criminals whose names were never released publicly or whose names were spelled incorrectly in the media have not been targeted.
Yes.
We briefly went over it at one of our meetings.
That's enough small talk for now. Come this way.
Oh, right.
Please turn off all your cell phones, handhelds, and any other communication devices and leave them on the table right there.
What do you think, we're going to be using our cell phones during this meeting to leak information?
No, but they can be used to listen on your conversation, and he wants these conversations to stay private. He's not accusing you of anything, but he doesn't know what this guy Kira is capable of. So just for the argument's sake, leave them in this room. Why do you have to have an argument over every single detail? This guy is smart. And I love how he said right after he gave them a lecture about not giving out their names so easily, he was like, let's value our lives, okay? Like, you know?
It's all right. Just do as he says.
Exactly. Why argue?
He's been cautious from the very beginning, but I still can't tell if he trusts us or not.
No, I just find them distracting. I can't stand it when people's cell phones are ringing while I'm trying to talk.
What?
Let me start by saying nobody takes notes on anything that's said in these meetings. That means when we leave headquarters, any information we need is committed to memory.
Okay.
Please make yourselves comfortable.
Right.
So there's no trace of anything that they discussed. Cell phones are in the other room. They cannot take notes. It's only here. And he's assuming light can get to there, you know? But when you think about it, what if light gets one of these guys to write down everything they can remember and then die? Because he can do that. Apparently, he can do anything.
Excuse me, L?
And from now on, I'll have to ask that you stop calling me L. It's Ryuzaki now, just to be safe.
What?
Okay, Ryu.
I'm hoping that's not his real name. Honestly, I really am hoping that's not his real name. It's probably not, but
If we know that he needs a name and a face to kill, couldn't we cut down on the number of victims by keeping criminals' names from the news?
If we do that, we'll only be putting the general public at risk.
The general public? Why?
Kira is childish and he hates losing.
But how do you...
Just what do you mean?
Well, I'm also childish and I hate to lose.
what an analysis, man. He's like, oh yeah, he's like me. That's why I know. So he's assuming, he's trying to say that if Kira doesn't have victims, he's just gonna, there's no telling what he might do, and he might harm the general public. Like what I talked about, there are no guidelines how you should act. So he might be like, I haven't killed in a while. I'm starting to get like tics. I need to kill somebody. We saw he has no problem killing off people that are innocent. So he might start doing some real damage. Okay, so I'm assuming that's what he's talking about here.
That's how I know.
But that's how I know.
Ryuzaki, would you mind being a little more specific for us?
Yeah.
Early on in the investigation, I tried to provoke Kira with that broadcast. Up until then, we
True.
thought that Kira would only go after criminals. But as we all witnessed, he didn't hesitate to kill my snake.
Exactly.
Also, as soon as I said we knew he was in the Kanto region, in defiance, he made sure his next victims came from within Japan, as if to say, and what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
He's met each of my challenges head on, and he's never missed an opportunity to return the favor. Now, what do you think would happen if we tried to use media restrictions to hide criminals from someone like that?
I guess...
If you choose to withhold the names of your worst criminals, I'll kill petty criminals or the innocent.
Exactly.
I'm holding the whole world hostage, so who's it gonna be?
He can hold the whole damn world hostage. And you guys have to obey him. You have to give him the criminals. Exactly. Because he sees himself as a god. He doesn't need to justify his actions to you mortals. He has the death note. He can kill off whoever he wishes as many times as he likes until you meet his demands. This guy L is yeah. But I still love the way he analyzed that. He was like, because I'm also childish and hate to lose.
I'm not the evil one here, but all those who oppose me by hiding criminals, you are truly evil.
Ugh, don't show me his feet.
That's exactly how Kira thinks. In any case, let's look at another way we can use the media to draw him out.
He does think that. Are we just gonna get past the point that he just made? He literally sounded like light. He literally sounded like light. Those who stand in my way are evildoers themselves. I am, So he gets
But
it.
how?
How about something like this? Death of FBI agents infuriates the U.S. Latest killings anger the international policing community. Nations agree to send 1,500 investigators to Japan. For Kira, this will be way beyond what he faced with the FBI. He'll see everyone as a potential threat. Psychologically, he'll start to feel cornered, and that will cause him to take some kind of drastic action.
That's interesting.
It
So
is.
you'll think there are 1,500 when there are really only 7 of us. And since none of these investigators exist, Kira won't be able to kill them. It just might work.
Well, before we celebrate, I'll tell you the rest of my thoughts on the Kira case. Kira works alone. He had access to all our classified information.
What evidence do you have that he's working alone?
Hold on, Aizawa. Let's listen to his entire theory before asking questions.
We know he needs a name and a face to kill. And to some extent, he can control a victim's time of death and their actions before dying. We already know that much. Please keep that in mind
Okay.
and listen carefully to what I have to say next.
Hmm.
On December 14th, 12 FBI investigators entered Japan.
How do you write like that?
On December 19th, using prison inmates, Kira conducts experiments manipulating his victims' actions before they die. In
Okay.
other words, during this window of only 5 days, Kira became aware of the FBI's presence and obviously felt threatened. Because he didn't know any of their names or faces, he was at a disadvantage. He needed to know how much control he had over his victims before he could use it against the 12 agents. And as we all know, on December 27th,
I got a hold of a file which contained all the names and faces of the FBI investigators in Japan, and I succeeded in killing each
Everybody.
agent. Gave the file to Kira, but I have to make sure that no one ever finds out that I came into contact with Ray Penber.
And that's where the plot thickens. Because we saw that guy's wife. That guy's wife is gonna be the key to this whole mess, man. Because if she goes to L, like I'm assuming, yeah, this investigation is public. Everybody knows that they're hunting this Kira guy, that he's an evildoer. So, and that woman was an FBI agent, a good one. So she must have connections as well. And she already figured out that somebody was in that bus with her fiance. So she only needs to connect the dots here, man, or get this information back to L, because L has on record which agent he put on who when. She knows the time when this happened, even though they don't. So she can connect all of this. And I love how Light knows this as well. He's like, this is the only thing that might get me into trouble. So I need to figure this out. But he doesn't know, because he was bluffing. He doesn't know that the wife knows who is the wife. It seems like he doesn't know she's an FBI agent. He doesn't know what that guy Ray told her. He doesn't know that anybody is on his trail. And she was. We saw in the last episode.
To December 27th, I've been most active during this period.
during this period, to the best of our knowledge, at least 23 individuals died of heart attacks.
Okay.
These victims were different from Kira's previous targets. They were all alleged criminals, ex-convicts, or suspects in ongoing investigations, so legally speaking, they were innocent.
That's true.
What this indicates is that Kira had to manipulate these lesser criminals in order to kill those FBI agents. He killed that many people so he'd be unable to tell the decoys from those who were actually used. In truth, he probably only needed a few. He waited 8 days so the FBI could investigate other suspects, which meant there'd be no timeline linking him to their deaths.
He literally said that about that guy Ray before he killed him. This kid, guy, whatever he is, I can't figure out his age because he really seems young, but he can't be a detective that young, so he really has the same thought process as Light. They're so similar, like two sides of the same coin. I like this. And as Light is figuring out the same damn thing, this guy is like literally explaining the same thing to these guys. So he must have figured something out. I love this. I love this. Darkness and light. Light being the darkness, which is ironic, honestly. But also, some more irony. Yesterday, I watched Naruto episode where Itachi tells Sasuke before he takes his eye, give me your light. This guy's name is Light. Like, come on, these two shows are in sync at this point. Like, I love it.
I suspect Kira had to be one of the people being investigated by the FBI between the 14th and the 19th of December. In fact, I have no doubt. These are files provided by the FBI, and they contain additional information you might find useful.
Does the fact that you've shown us your face mean that you've lost? By just being here, are you admitting defeat to Kira?
Name.
That's right. By showing my face to you now, and by sacrificing the lives of 12 FBI agents, I have lost the battle. But I'm not going to lose the war.
I knew he was gonna say that. That's a common sentence. I might have lost this battle, but I'm not gonna lose this war. And I love how they, oh, man, he figured it out. he's gonna figure it out. He's gonna figure out who and which FBI agents were targeting and trailing who. And in that time period, I'm sure Light is right in there, and he's gonna connect the dots even without that lady. And that lady's just like, the cherry on top of the cake. So this is not looking good for Light. I'm gonna be honest. I'm starting to get why this anime is so short, because this L guy is insanely good, man. He's really good at his job. Like, one team is gonna trail new suspects, the other team is gonna trail the steps of the FBI agents that died, and in doing so, they are eventually gonna figure out that Light was trailed by this particular FBI agent that he killed off, and which was my point. Why would you kill off and literally leave a clue for L to find you? Like, he made a mistake there, man, and he knew. He was too cocky, man. He knew that guy didn't think that he was Kira. He could have just let it go, but no. So at this point, he effed up, and I believe they are right on his trail. If Light doesn't figure it out and do something to distract them, or I don't know how he's gonna get out of this one.
This is the first time I've ever put my life on the line. I want to show Kira that we're all willing to risk our lives if that's what it takes. And that justice will prevail no matter what.
Hey, yeah, that's right. I like the sound of that. We can do this. All right, then. Let's do this, Ryazaki.
Well, I had my doubts about whether it was really him at first, but there's no mistaking it. This man is L.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I have to be absolutely sure that none of you are Kira, so I'll need to speak with each of you individually before you leave today.
Huh. What's the deal? He still doesn't trust us?
No, I think it's a fair request. Try to see it from his perspective. Kira's been getting information from our headquarters from the very beginning, so there's a good chance that he's one of us.
Chief's right. Working this case has given us a chance to see him in person. He's risking his life to be here.
Yeah. And he's a legend. He doesn't have to do this.
Things are going well. Just one clue, a single decisive factor is all I need.
Just one oversight. A single piece of evidence is all it would take.
They're the same, man.
It could cost me my life.
Just one thing.
They're the same. I am telling you, it's so good how much similar they are, their thought process. And he wants to have individual conversations, interviews with each of these 5 guys that are helping him in the investigation. Okay? Because yes, somebody has been leaking information. He needs to make sure you're not one of those guys. And it's ironic that the only guy that agreed with him that it is a fair request is the guy which son is doing all of this. How, man, if I was a detective on such a case, and the first moment this guy L said that it might be somebody who is connected to the police and have inside information, I would literally go home and smack the shit out of my child. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but I would go talk to him. I would go like, I would at least think about it. Like, I know everybody thinks their child is a saint, but I would make sure I make sure. you know what I mean? So that's interesting. And he also said this is the first time he put his own life on the line. He is risking his own life to find this Kira guy, Light Yagami, which is very interesting because that really coincides with the sentence he said earlier. I might have lost this battle, but I'm not going to lose the war. And he's showing us that he's willing to go all in, not to do so, not to lose. And I'm here for it. They are showing her more and more, which tells me she's gonna play a possibly decisive role in all of this. If a human uses the note, a god of death usually appears in front of her within 39 days after she used the note. Oh, so that's what we saw. That guy Ryuk, right? He was like, I have to go. So he has to do it. Gods of death, the original owners of the death note, do not do it. Principality will help the priest. Okay. So he can help. Okay.
You already finished studying? I guess. I'll be fine. I haven't missed anything.
What is your method, man? How do you do all of this and still find the time to study and be the best in your class? Come on, what's your secret? I really need it. I'm serious. I really need it. Do you have another study note? Like...
The biggest risk I've taken so far was that bus jacking incident. But they'll never be able to connect it with Kira. Fortunately for me, both the police and Elle don't know that Kira can kill people by means other than a heart attack. However, if anyone were to discover that fact, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
What? Does it have to be now?
The hell was that animation? Like, did they really need to draw her like, come on.
Your
Come on.
father's been pulling overnighters with no change of clothes, so you're going to bring these to him.
But Mom, I totally promised my friends that I'd go out with them today.
Why don't I go? I could use a break.
Thanks, Light. I owe you one next time.
So I guess this'll give you a chance to spy on the police.
I won't go further than the reception desk.
Oh, you're bringing a page, planning to kill someone.
No, but lately I've been bringing a page with me every time I go out, just in case.
So he's really gonna go scout the area, be in midst of enemy territory.
That day, Ray said that he was planning to go to Shinjuku. That same day, 4 people died of heart attacks in the Shinjuku area, and there was the bus jacking.
Yeah,
There's no way it was a coincidence.
she's connecting it. She's good, man.
That's it. Kira can kill in other ways. It doesn't have to be a heart attack.
She figured it out as well! I'm sorry, tell me in the comments. I might have assumed that Al knows this already. Because he was talking like... But she figured it out, man. This girl is on point, even though she doesn't have any details about the investigation other than what her fiance told her, might have told her.
Unusual for Dad. I wonder if he's in a meeting right now.
Please, I need to speak directly with someone from the special investigation.
She's already there?
It's urgent.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but I can't help you. As I've told you already, there is no one at Task Force headquarters right now.
There's no one at headquarters? Dad's cell is turned off. What's going on?
Are they at Elle's place in the hotel? Because they're turning out their phones and everything. Okay.
You contact them somehow? I have information relating to the Kira investigation.
There it is.
The Kira investigation?
Look, I'll call headquarters one more time for you. One moment.
Hi, I'm Detective Soichiro Yagami's son, Light Yagami. I brought my father a change of clothes, but it doesn't look like he's in. Can I leave them here?
Sure. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while, Light.
Oh,
As I thought, there's no one at headquarters. You're going to have to trust me on this, ma'am. I'll be sure to give them your message as soon as I see them, I promise.
That's not good enough. I have to tell them in person.
excuse me. My father is actually in charge of the Kira investigation. If you'd like, I could pass your message on to him. His cell phone is off at the moment, but I should be able to contact him soon.
He's trying to figure out what she knows. This is interesting, and this chick looks like she doesn't trust him. Is she gonna be, because she deduced everything like that, is she gonna figure out that this kid might be Kira? Because come on, he literally just said that his father is, and we saw that brain-wise, this girl is on point, so she must have been one hell of a detective. So is she gonna...
A number of FBI agents were just killed, and a lot of detectives have quit the case because they're afraid of Kira. So he's
And he
pretty busy
knows
with
all
that.
of this.
Light, it's probably better if you don't discuss this with...
True, but it's practically common knowledge at this point.
Is it?
Besides, I feel like I can trust her. You can almost see it in her eyes. She's a wise and careful person. You heard about what happened, and you must have figured out that the police had a leak of some.
Damn, man, his manipulation skills are at 100% right now. Did you hear this boy? He's low-key hitting on her. Like, he's not, but he's just complimenting her, then, like, pulling it back, then, like, trying to get her to put her guard down, just so he can get the information he needs and know is he in danger or not.
Kind. And that's why you wanted to tell them in person. You thought this through. Well,
Yeah, she did.
I'm sure my father will be calling me back once he checks his messages. When he does, I'll give you the phone and let you talk to him.
You sure that's all right?
Oh yeah, You understand why I can't just give you my father's cell phone number, but I have no problem letting you use my phone to talk to him. You'll have to trust my father and I, which I hope won't be too difficult for you.
Why is he so
That's a cringe smile right there. I'd be skeptical if I were.
happy?
Thank you so much.
She walked right into that one, didn't she?
I've got to say, you must be pretty brave to be getting involved in the Kira case like this.
Oh, not really.
So according to you, is Kira some... we've been talking and I just realized I don't even know your name. My name is Light Yagami. Light's written with the character for Moon and Yagami with the characters for Night and God. Kind of weird.
Yeah, you guys told me in the comments, man. You know, Night and God and Moon. You told me this in the comments, so the show told me as well. I knew this little part. It might have been a small spoiler on your part, but it's okay. It's not that detrimental to the story. So,
My name's Shokomaki. It's written with the characters for Shining, Koa's in Charles, Space, and
Shokomaki?
Kia's in Tree.
Miss Maki, right?
I love this.
Miss Maki.
I love the god of the FBI. Like, like he's just enjoying all of this. Like Light trying to.
Maki, I've been thinking about Kira's powers, and I believe they enable him to somehow control his victims before they die.
So do I. It's odd that you say that because that's exactly what I've been thinking. Kira's able to control their actions before he kills them, but there's more to it. If my analysis so far is correct, Kira can kill in a number of ways, not just with a heart attack.
Oh
She
yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
Who is this woman?
Doesn't know.
I don't think anyone else knows this yet. But if the police are willing to consider it, I bet it would help them catch Kira.
You know, that
Yeah.
possibility never even crossed my mind. So what you're saying is anytime Kira wants one of his murders to go undetected, he wouldn't use a heart attack.
Right. I'm almost positive that someone I know may have met Kira.
Met Kira? Oh, I'm sorry, but if a person came in saying they'd met Kira, the police would be more than a little skeptical, to say the least.
I know. That's why I need to explain it in person to someone from Task Force headquarters. Otherwise, I'm afraid they'll just write me off.
But wouldn't it be better if your friend spoke to them instead?
It probably would, but he's no longer alive. He was one of the 12 FBI
Ooh,
agents
she
who came
told
to Japan
him.
to investigate Kira.
Yes.
FBI agent.
He's gonna figure it out.
Could it be?
You see, he was also my fiancé. While he was working, he got caught up in a bus jacking, and I have reason to believe that he met Kira on that bus.
Ray Penberg.
He's gonna kill her. He's gonna kill her. And she told him her name! Oh my god, she's gonna kill her! He has the death note with him and he just figured it out. He figured it out that this girl can actually make it happen. That him to get a death penalty. So he has to kill her, man. Are you kidding me? Why did she tell him all of this?
Is something wrong?
Nothing. I'm sorry to hear that he passed away. So, what makes you think he met Kira on that bus?
Because 8 days after that bus was hijacked, he died along with the other FBI investigators. The same man had attempted to rob a bank 2 days before he hijacked
Okay,
that.
she's connecting everything and she's telling him everything, but I just connected the fact that when he introduced himself, he said how his name was spelled and he did so she would do the same so he could know if he needs to kill her how to spell it right so it works, so that it would work. Are you kidding me, show?
Bus. Then he dies in an accident, just like that. I mean, really, what are the odds?
1 in a million.
I've come to believe that Kira set up that bus jacking. It was planned to bring him into contact with my fiancée in order to obtain information regarding the identities of the other FBI agents so he could get rid of them all. Anyway, what stands out to me is that the hijacker died.
She
in an
figured out
accident.
everything.
In other words, it suggests that heart attacks aren't the only way Kira can kill people.
She connected everything like that. This girl might be on their level. Well, and Lights, like brain-wise.
Okay, so the busjacker didn't die of a heart attack. And based on that, you're saying Kira has other ways of killing people?
Yes.
Don't take us the wrong way, but I think that's a bit of a leap of faith.
There's no other way of looking at it. If Kira was controlling the hijacker, chances are he killed him too.
I still don't see it.
I've been wondering about that buzzjacking ever since my fiance first told me about it. After he calmed down, I asked him for details. He didn't mention any names or anything like that, but he told me one thing.
What did he say?
That he'd been put in a situation where he had to show his FBI ID to someone.
Thus, if Kira was there, he would have had his name. She figured everything out, man. Okay. If Light doesn't kill her, he's gonna kill her for sure, because he has her name. He just wants to see how much she knows before he does it. This is not good, man. She's telling him everything, and I like her. I really like her. She's smart, man. She's doing all of this. She figured it out so easily.
The operation was undertaken secretly without the NPA's knowledge. He wasn't allowed to show his ID. I think whoever saw his ID that day is responsible for the deaths of all key agents.
Unbelievable. She figured it out. This must be the oversight Light was worried about.
I understand. You're the only one who knows any of this, and you want nothing more than to avenge your fiancée by bringing Kira to justice, right? And now you're convinced that Kira can kill without using a heart attack.
Yes.
There's no doubt in my mind your deductive skills are excellent, but you can't deny that you have a personal interest in the case. Still, your theory is worth looking into.
What?
For sure. Your testimony could be central to the case.
It could.
If what you're telling me is true, then it'll only be a matter of time before the police catch up with Kira. The person your fiancé showed his ID to on the bus that day, it had to be Kira.
Why would he... Why would he encourage her?
That was close. This woman, if she'd spoken to the police,
He's gonna
before,
kill
I knew
her.
But it seems there's a god on my side after all. And not just a god of death.
Oh, it seems like there's a god on my side after all, not just the god of death symbolism, like this guy Ryuk right behind him. To be continued? Okay, so I was right. He wanted to take as much information from her as possible to see what she knows. Does anybody else know everything he needed in order to conclude whether he could kill her or not? And I'm assuming he's gonna kill her because he has everything he needs, her face, her name, and that's why he's so confident. But he really encouraged her in the end just to kill her off, just like her husband, man. He did everything Kira asked him to, and in the end he killed him off and actually showed his face to him. It's like, farewell. Man, this kid, this story is just picking up and picking up and picking up, and all these side characters that are actually detrimental to the whole case. And Al showing his face, that guy looks weird because he, one of those people that looks like 12, but he's actually 35. I'm guessing that's the case here because he's a detective. They really, and man, they kept showing his feet. Don't do that. So that's interesting, okay? He visited the headquarters, but we know that Al switched that up, so now they're meeting at the hotel, and their phones are turned off. So that's all. The Light doesn't know any of this. But the fact that what he said in the end, it seems as though there's a god on my side watching over me, and not just a god of death. Because what are the odds that his sister was lazy enough not to bring her father his spare change clothes, and Light getting home right in that second saying, I'm gonna do it, goes over there and meets the woman that can actually ruin him. And I like how throughout the whole conversation between these two, every word from a Light's mouth was calculated to get what he wanted. Her name, how it was spelled, everything, how much she knows. Does he need to kill her? Who is her husband? What does she know? Does anybody else know this? Everything. And as soon as he got all of it, he's gonna continue and kill her off. I'm assuming in the next episode, which we're gonna watch tomorrow because I'm pretty late already. So guys, this is I love this. Okay, I really love this. I enjoy this episode because this show is just it's different. It's different. Not a lot of action like fighting wise, but chess wise, amazing. So I'm here for all of it, guys. I really enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed the reaction, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.